All right, here's where we are on the John Deere. I dug around and found old carburetors, and the used ones I had all leaked. So somewhere along the way, I had ordered one, and so I put a brand new Intech type carburetor on here. And what I mean by that is, let me get something to point with. The Intech carburetor has the primer inlet is here. On most quantum carburetors, it's where that is. That's a dummy hole. See, this wire does not go in there. It's just a depression in the metal. This is where the air goes when you pump the primer bulb. If this works, if it primes, then I'll be quite happy. I replaced the hose, so that's a brand new hose in case that was part of the leakage. I don't think it was. I think it's just old carburetors. And so now I'm going to go ahead and link the governor spring on here. And again, I don't have this 100% right. That tab is supposed to be under there, but at least I've got one under there, and and it's not interfering like it was. The way it was before, so that's good. Also, just so you know, I did drill out that link where this goes in right there. I took a little tiny drill bit and I drill that out on a lot of these aftermarket carburetors because they're just too tight. They bind when they shouldn't. They bind when this is moving. See, so they need to fit nicely in there, not real snug. And it's been sitting here for a while, and I don't see any leaks, so that's encouraging. I didn't fill it up this time with gas, but I am seeing some in the bottom of the tank, so that should be enough to test it. And once again, I think we're close to pulling the cord on this thing and actually seeing if it runs. Of course, I've still got rain going on here today, but let's hope for the best. So let me set this down, and we're going to see what happens here. Truth is, I can start this without having the air filter and all that stuff installed, but I want to see if it primes. So let's see if I can get this air filter base on and see if it primes. I did repair this because I didn't have one of these curved grommets that comes off this type of engine. There's a lot of gack down in the bottom of this air filter base, and okay, so if it works, see, I should either hear or feel on my cheek when I hold this up here. I definitely hear it now. In fact, I see moisture coming out, which is probably old fuel. Get that off of there. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna spit on it and see if it bubbles. I missed again. And that got it once now. Did you see it move? Okay, so I think this does prime. Now I gotta clean all my spit out of there. Get a paper towel. If this thing doesn't prime, then I think I've got others of these that I've saved off of old Intech type mowers. I wonder if I should just go ahead and get one out. Now I was trying to get my spit out of there. It's not working very well. Push this down in there and wiggle it around. See if that helps. Oh yeah, that cleaned it out real good. I can hear it. Let me see if I got one full cleaner. I don't exactly have that kind of base. I have this kind of base, and I wonder, oh, there's my curved grommet. I could use that. So let me see if this is going to fit or not. I think this might fit. Let me. I like this, but this takes the little flat paper filter instead of this big old honking thing. So I may try this. Let's see if I hear air coming out of this one. Well, that sounds pretty darn good. All right, I'm gonna try this one and see if it fits on there. That's a different grommet. I gotta do the standard grommet. Let's see. I think that's gonna fit, to be honest with you. Let's see. John Deere cover's gonna interfere with that. So this would be here. And this would be here. I could just leave that big piece off. Well, anyway, so we'll go with the original one, which is this guy. All right. I'm sure it's dirty down there. Okay. So this grommet's going to fit the bottom of that. Well, I need to put my little gasket on here. And that is over here. Okay, so there's one. And if this doesn't work, I'll put another gasket on it. And let me get some of the dirt off. Okay. Okay, so gotta get the little bent in the right spot. Push it down there. Okay, so the little air hole is right there. And I can see it, so it's all lined up. All right, let's try it. See if we can get it on here. So this is gonna slip on that little grommet. I'm gonna swing this around here. Find those great big long screws that hold it on, which are, I got one of them. There's the other one. These big old things. So I need 5/16. Get the 5/16 socket put on there. Maybe I'll stay, but I'm going to try to hold it with my hand. All right. And now, see if I can get one of these in there. So my gasket is still on there. Find where that goes in. Right there. I need to be careful that I haven't lubricated that thing, and I probably should. Let me take all this off. You guys have followed me, you know I like to make sure these threads are clean. before I start screwing them into these soft carburetors, and make sure it's going to go in there, not cross-thread. So let me see if I can get that started. There we go, it's going on pretty good. Let me hit this one with a little, with the wire brush, a little WD-40 right on the threads. Okay, now I get this one threaded in. See what it looks like. Okay, so that's going in. I don't want very much torque on here. Okay, and now this one. I know they're going to go in now. Without cross-threading. Okay, now we're going to put this thing on. All right. Put the grommet on. And the tube at the bottom of that filter. It's going on there pretty good. I'll swing this around. Get one of my screws. Run it through the hole in the front. Make sure it's lining up with the. Well, where is that thing? There it is. Okay, make sure it's lining up with the carb. Gently start it. Gently. Now gently start this one. Gently. It's kind of fine. Okay. And now I can use my electric drill. Very low torque. Okay. And okay. All right, so in theory, I should be able to pull the cord on this and have it run. Because I got fuel in here, the carburetor's not leaking, the carburetor's brand new. I'm going to clear all my supplies out to roll this thing off the table. Let's do that. Alright, believe all the stuff that I say. Thinking I'll need it later. I often do. Alright. Okay, once again, I don't see any reason this mower's not going to start. I'm going to find out. Together. I'm going to wheel out here to the, oh man. I wonder if this thing quit recording. Anyway, I'm in low power mode because I've run out of juice. But I put a new carburetor on here. Reinstalled the, it doesn't leak. Reinstalled the air filter base. And I'm going to see if this thing connects. Let's find out. I'm going to run the cord up here. I don't have the tank attached except with one screw. I need to push that down a little bit. There we go. I got the brake off. Alright. Let's see. And it's a big mower. Let me get my ear muffs. It's gonna be loud in here in the garage if it runs. Push the primer bulb 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That was successful. Now the self-propelled did not work, so I've got to look into that. But we got her going. Pauline runs.